it is Monday, so for those of you that know what's going on, today is Q&A time.
I had to switch up the flow, show you the way that it go. God is good, but his life is hard. But it gets better when you grind it small. I'm just really trying to leave a mark. We tired of being who they say we are. That's the baton, we gon' take it far. Always be real, we don't fake it all. Tired of 9 to 5, just make enough to survive.
How can a marketing agency make it easier for an industrial company to build their brand and attract new audiences?
So number one, the marketing agency's got to understand your target demographic. Do they know who you're trying to sell to? Do they know what they're looking for? Do they know how to effectively market in that space? That's kind of check number one. Now you can work with an agency like MFG Tribe, Manufacturing Tribe. This is all we do. We're an industrial marketing agency, so we know the ins and outs of every industrial manufacturing industry out there, whether it's service or product. That's kind of step one. Make sure you're looking into people that have experience in your space, and not just like, oh yeah, sometimes we dabble with it. People that are heavily vested into the industrial space. So it's kind of step one, because they're not going to be able to help you if they don't really understand it. It's going to be more of a time spent on learning your industry 3-4 months before they can actually execute. So if you do that, then you should trust on their strategy. The strategy should be something along the lines of, you want to make sure your website's good. You want to produce some sort of content. You want to push that content out in relevant areas like social on LinkedIn. You want to create written and video content, put it on your website, videos on YouTube, lots and lots and lots of content consistently on a monthly basis. Hopefully that's what they're telling you, because that's what works. And then from there, email marketing, advertising, and kind of trust that they understand the process. Now, for those of you that are working with agencies that are like, yeah, we work with manufacturing companies. We've got a few of them. We've done a few in the past. I would go to them and say, look, content is king. In order to sell to somebody, you have to effectively market to them. Help the sales team out by marketing to them with pieces of content that are relevant, written and video, and making sure that you track the engagement on that through some sort of system. And then from there, you can give your sales team a little bit of a leg up to where it's not 100% cold call or a cold lead. It's like, this person's been sent some things, maybe they've clicked on stuff, maybe you've converted them from an MQL to an SQL, but it's a way to educate them and say, hey, look, I'm not here to sell you something. Here's some information that's relevant to you guys, relevant to your market that I think you'll get use out of. And then from there, it's just, how do we get that content out there? You have to adjust it for social, adjust it for email, adjust it for advertising. But that's really the best way that a marketing agency can help an industrial manufacturing company, is first to truly understand the audience, and then from there implement a strategy that is specific to that audience. It's not saying like your product and your audience has a different 100% different strategy than somebody's different product or service with a slightly different audience. From my standpoint, industrial is industrial. It's either a service or a product. How you go about specifically tweaking those is kind of like in the minute details, in the minor side of it. But from a macro level, right, like macro speaking, you're going to be going after them very similar, because the audience is people that are educated, operations, purchasing, engineers. How to market to them, you first have to have experience doing it. And that's really the best way any marketing agency can help out an industrial company.
What are some integration tools to help sales and marketing work better together?
So first thing is, understand sales and marketing have to work better together. They have to be joined at the hip. Marketing's job is to generate activity, generate opportunities, leads, and bring them into the pipeline of sales. In order for them to do that, they first have to understand, what are the salespeople seeing? What do the salespeople need as tools from them? So on and so forth. What are they seeing out there when they're selling to people? What type of objections are they getting? What type of value are they providing? What are the common things that they're seeing? Marketing can't really get that if sales doesn't communicate back. But some simple tools is, you got to have a uniform system, right? You got to have some sort of CRM system that both parties are using, and using efficiently and effectively. Because if marketing is just running off doing automation, doing email marketing, things like that, but sales isn't in there to update stuff and attack stuff, it's really a lost cause for it. Like, they have to work on the same systems together. Using communication systems, if you're a bigger company like Slack, personally, I'm not a huge fan of anything Microsoft related, but a lot of our clients use Microsoft Teams. So being able to chat with people, communicate, having the right channels set up, have frequent weekly meetings so that way that sales and marketing can get on the same boat with the objectives, the initiatives, things that they're doing. But it can't be like the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing and vice versa. So they have to come together. The best way to do that is to store all of your information into a CRM system like a HubSpot or something similar, but make sure that both sides of it are in there on a daily basis, updating it, going through the data, making sure that it's clean, putting notes, communicating back to marketing, say, hey, I'm seeing a lot of good activity on this thing that you guys did, and communicating back and forth. You really have to have the tools in place so it's not just like emailing back and forth or chatting. A centralized CRM system is critical to make sure that both parties are involved.
What are the benefits of having user-generated videos versus sponsored ads on social media?
Like authenticity will come through a user-generated video, and you'll get more traction. If it's something like that you post on social, you'll get more traction. You don't have to pay for it. A sponsored ad is going to have to come with a cost per click, cost per view. So you're going to have to first set up your audience, make sure it's the right audience, and then put something that's relevant to them, like this video that you're talking about, into it. But ideally, you want to tackle it from both sides, right? Like from an organic standpoint, having people at your company posting videos, growing their network, and pushing it out there is going to benefit you. Even from a company standpoint, posting something on a company page and having all of your sales and marketing people engage and share that out to their networks, that's a way to get free traction and free views on the video versus having to go down the paid side. But it kind of depends on the specific situation of, I always look at it as, if you want to take time out of the equation, spend money on advertising, right? If you can wait for it to build up organically, or you don't have the budget to run ads, it's going to take longer, but you can eventually get there. It's just going to be not as quick. Whereas with some of our clients, we can say, hey, this ad that we created, this video ad that we created, we want to put it in front of these specific industrial companies, and we want to push it hard in front of them over the next 30 days. Here's the action we want them to take, and we're going to spend $5,700 to do it. That's one way to do it, to get some instant traction and instant brand awareness. But too often people are like, if I put this out there, it's going to generate traffic, which is going to result in a sale. That doesn't always work like that. A lot of times for the new brands, you push stuff out there and like, who are these guys? I keep seeing their stuff, or they're emailing me and now I'm seeing their ad. It takes a little bit to bust up that brand awareness side of things to make sure people are aware of what it is that you do. And then maybe eventually they come back to you. So you can't take the specific metrics and the KPIs as like, this didn't work. You're building brand awareness at the same time that you are running paid ads. So both sides have a benefit. It depends on your specific situation.
What is the best way to track industrial marketing trends?
Follow my content. I'd say that's the best way to track it. Everything that we do, and I don't mean like we know everything about anything, but we're in this industry. This is the only industry that we're in, is industrial and manufacturing people. So we do things on a daily basis at scale for all of our clients. So we'll see things typically before like a report comes out, right? You can track your own KPIs and see, are you seeing a shift? Are you testing things, seeing if it worked or it didn't work? But at the end of the day, if you wait for like annual reports, or if you Google search something and you go to like socialmediaexaminer.com or places like that that are looking at as a whole, how does social media work? It's not specific to your niche. If you follow our content, we don't say things that aren't true from a standpoint of performance and strategy and what works. All the topics that we talk about, it may seem like redundancy from a marketing standpoint, but there's only so many tricks in the bag. It's all about execution of that strategy and those tricks of what's working. But there's really only a couple of key areas to focus on. So if you pay attention to our content, subscribe to my YouTube channel, you'll start to see like, this is what's working. We tell stories all the time about, this client, we saw this work. Now we're focusing more on that. We test it all the time with our clients. And as we see something making traction or momentum, we then may say, okay, we're going to test this thing that seems to be working for this client in this niche industry. We're going to test it with one of our other clients, see if we get similar results. And if it does, then that's how we're going to do it across the board. And the main thing is that we can do it at scale because we have 10, 15, 20 clients that we're doing the same thing for, testing it, reviewing those results and seeing if it works, and then applying it at a broader scale. So I would say pay attention to our channel and our content. So go over to the YouTube channel, subscribe to it, turn on notifications, stay tuned for that Wednesday post, Wednesday at 12 Central Standard Time, and we will see you on the next one.